This is the police. We have you surrounded with insightful gaming commentary. Tristan Ogilvie here, alongside Lieutenant Lucy O'Brien.
Hello, Tristan.
And I'm going to come clean. I don't know anything about this game, but fortunately, this is the police. In case, I wonder how many people flinched when I started with that.
I'm sure plenty of people. It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, this is the police.
I wasn't doing anything.
I haven't played it, but you have. You've played many hours of it.
Yep.
And you're going to take us through it right now. First of all, can you give us the kind of premise of the game? It's PC only, is it?
Yeah, it is currently PC only. Basically, so what I'm showing you here is we're sort of about 57 days into a 180-day police management sim.
Okay.
So basically, the whole idea is that you play as Jack Boyd, this very grizzled kind of, dime store novel police chief.
Based on my 2 seconds of research prior to this, voiced by John St. John.
Voiced by Duke Nukem himself. And actually, he does a very, very good job. I got to say, like, his voice work is probably one of the best things about this game.
He is excellent.
He is. So yeah, you play this police chief, Jack Boyd. He's been fired by City Hall. He's got a very I don't know what's the word, kind of tumultuous relationship with the city of Freeburg's mayor.
Okay.
So basically, he has 180 days to kind of make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Gotcha.
But of course, this is a police management sim, so a lot of things are going to go wrong. There are cutscenes throughout that kind of flesh out his story. That's what we're seeing right now. He does a lot of sort of press conferences and that sort of thing. I'm just going to skip through this and actually get to the meat of the game, because really the decisions that you make in the cutscenes aren't hugely meaningful.
I like the art style.
Yeah, the art style is very cool. They're sort of faceless.
Yeah, it looks like it was done with the Prisma app.
It does look like it was done with the Prisma app,
which I'm well into at the moment. So no, sorry.
No, it is quite interesting that you can make sort of light decisions throughout the cutscenes,
right.
But really, what affects sort of the end game is the decisions that you make when you're kind of managing the police force itself.
Got it.
And
so are you an angry police chief?
Very angry. So, okay, every day you start like this. So you get the papers and you kind of see what's going on. Go to work, you get
How
your
did
car.
that paper already have a coffee stain on it? It only just landed on the desk.
That's a very, very good point.
Continuity problems here. But
a couple of plot holes, and this is the place. All right, so this is what your sort of opening screen is. You have to manage your police force.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 teams. You've got an A team and a B team, and they sort of like go every second day. So they'll work every second day. So
Gotcha.
you got your A team today. I think we've maybe got the B team today. And basically, your sort of your task force is really quite useless.
Right.
So they're constantly making really outlandish excuses to not come to work. So, for example, Percy, he wants to go to a big sale and not go to work. And I'm going to say, that is ridiculous, Percy. Of course you're going to come to work. You're not going to go to your stupid sale. I'm tasked with giving some stripes here. Now,
which you just do
Which I just do randomly. The interesting thing about this is the police is that, it's all about juggling your relationship with both the police themselves and your relationship with City Hall and your relationship with the Mafia.
The Mafia, okay.
So all of these things are really, really difficult.
Right.
Because if you decide that you want to help out the Mafia, or if you decide that you're going to do some kind of underhanded dealings, then you're going to get in trouble with City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
City Hall is also a really okay. So this is City. I asked for one more slot, and they've granted me this request, which is good. City Hall generally is very, very, I don't know, they're just awful. So they'll ask you to, like, at one point I was asked to, and this is a very interesting...
Are they corrupt?
They are corrupt, and this
Okay.
is a very interesting thing about This Is the Police is, it's sort of it feels at times like it's got some sort of musing about the state of society and that sort of thing, or it sort of borders on satirical at times, but I don't really think it nails it.
Right.
So there have been interesting times when City Hall, for example, asked me to fire all the black police officers
Okay.
in my task force because of delicate race relations that were going on in Freiburg.
Right.
At other times, it asked me to beat up some feminists who were protesting. Can
you not do that?
You can not do that.
Right.
But then you'll get massively fined. And the way that they fine you is either they cut your salary or they cut how many police officers you can have,
Okay.
which means that you can't do your job, which means that they get angrier with you. So it's a really,
So
really...
you're forced to do these underhanded,
You're,
like,
for-
unethical things.
you're forced to do these really
succeed.
crappy things. So I'm just going to hire some cops now because I have been granted that request. Thank you, City Hall. But yeah, you're asked to do these really crappy things, and if you say no, then there are real repercussions. Anyway, so this is how you solve. This is how you you sort of send out your cops when a crime is happening. So
Right.
vandalism, every little thing that every crime is its own little story. So I'm going to send out some cops. Now, the cops here have a star under their names, and their star is basically how competent they are. So whenever
it.
they solve a crime, and
Get a little
no one
stat
gets
boost.
hurt, and they lock the perp away, then that star rating will go up, and therefore they are more competent.
Got it.
Whenever they screw up and someone is killed, then their star rating goes down. So also here you've got 3 slots, right? So that means it's kind of a 3-man job. You could send out 2. You could send out 1, but if you send out 1, it's highly likely that they'll fail, and they may get themselves killed, and they may get a citizen killed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send out a mixture. I'll send Percy, poor old
First
Percy.
day on the job.
Well, I can't fire Percy because he was.
You could ask him to get a haircut at least.
His dad did me a favor,
okay.
so he's a useless cop that I can't actually fire. Okay, now that is just an example of a crime. So what's happening now is you can see that they're slowly going out. In the meantime, they are out of service, right?
Yep.
So other crimes are going to pop up right here, and like you've got to use the other cops that you have left.
Yep.
So as you can see, now I'm only down to 3 cops.
These crimes are all diversions, though, for the bank heist.
A lot of them are diversions. Okay, so this is an example of a investigation. So you've got cops on your team, but you've also got detectives on your team.
Cool.
So I'm going to send out Banner for this job, where club patrons found a man lying unconscious in the bathroom. So I'll send him out, and that's cool. In the meantime here, I'm going to request something from City Hall. Usually they deny me basically everything, but I'll
That's because
I'll
you're not
send that
playing
out.
by their rules.
I'm not playing by their rules because I don't really want to beat up feminists
Yeah.
and black people.
Yeah.
I find that really odd. And it is a very strange decision that the devs made to basically be able to sort of deny doing these things but be severely punished. Which is, it's a very interesting sort of decision. And again, I'm still not quite sure why they use a lot of the language that they use.
Are you selling guns?
I am selling guns. I've decided I sort of feel like more honourable doing things with the mafia than doing things for City Hall.
Wow.
So I am going to, because I'm a good person, share 50% of my mafia earnings with my staff. The other thing is that the cops, your cops have to like you. If they don't like you, then they'll stop turning up to work,
Right.
or they'll file formal complaints against you. And if they file formal complaints against you, then there will be investigations, and the investigators will take your cops off the roster. So again, you'll be completely hindered. So there were a couple of times when I basically had like 3 cops at my disposal at the beginning of a day. And
Wow.
it's just a nightmare. Okay, so we'll go to the. Let's see how this went. Okay, so that was great. Everything went well
Nice.
there.
Justice was served.
Justice was served. Everything went well there. So now these cops are going to go back to base, and you can see here that they're see the little line going down there. That means that
Like a cool
they're
down timer?
coming back to it's a cool down. So they're coming back
Gotcha.
to base. Now this is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing crime. Often, unusually, with the rape cases in this game, they're often false alarms. Again, I'm not quite sure what the devs are trying to say with that. In this instance, it looks like it's probably a false alarm. Just from the text, I can kind of tell that there's not much. He's not got much to go on.
Right.
This student.
Yeah.
So I'm going to err on the side of I'm not actually not going to err on the side of caution. I'm just going to send one guy out. Oh, okay, I'll send two. All right, so I'll send two guys out to that case, but I can almost guarantee that it will be a false alarm. Okay, so in this sometimes you have to make a call when you send your cops out. Sometimes you have to sort of say, okay, what are you going to do? You've got to give the orders.
Well, this sounds like a horrific scenario.
In a dirty basement, a teetering old man is digging around inside a young man's. Okay, he's a crazy doctor. So I'm just going to be very calm and tell these guys to. Okay, so that was the right call. So yeah, it's kind of actually quite hard to know how especially in those kind of scenarios where your cops want you to make the call. It's actually quite hard to know exactly what you're meant to do. A lot of This Is the Police is just pure blind guesswork.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go into our investigation. So this is the guy who was found dead, and this is basically all the eyewitness accounts here. So you can kind of glean all the facts from what actually happened here. It looks like a guy in a white jacket led this guy into a bathroom, sold him some coke, and the guy died from an overdose. And you can see that this is the end of the scenario, and this is the beginning.
So how do you get the frames?
So you get the frames by keeping your detective on the case. And if you want the case to kind of speed up, then you can put more detectives on the case. But again, because City Hall hates me, they keep cutting my detectives and my budget. So
that part of the game appeals to me. I like sleuthing.
Right, yeah.
Like, that looks cool.
It does look cool, and essentially what you do once you have the frames is you put them in order, and
I like that.
yeah, it is. That's probably my favorite part.
It's Johnson John's Hospital.
Yes, just Johnson John's Hospital. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these you've kind of got to make the call whether you think it's true or false, and generally you can tell from the text. They're often it's quite often on the nose. Okay, so here is our rape case report. The girlfriend was just having a special moment with her new boyfriend. So I was correct. It was a false alarm. Again, yeah, it is a very it's a curious game because at first glance you sort of think, okay, this is quite satirical, but it sort of lacks the sort of sense of humor that you would expect from something that was being
fairly
truly
dry.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, from something that's being truly satirical. And it's got a very sort of odd tone that I still haven't really been able to put my finger on.
Right.
Especially with the use of, gendered slurs and racial slurs and homophobic slurs. It's very kind of interesting use of language. Okay, so back to... this is our last... We'll sort of wrap it up here. But this is one of the bigger crimes. So again, you've kind of got to make the call. Am I going to send out all of my cops, or am I just going to send out a few? Could it be a false alarm? I don't know. I have no idea in this instance. What we'll do is we'll just send out everyone basically, and
the SWAT team.
Send out the SWAT team too.
Wow.
Now, interestingly, the SWAT team can only be used once in any shift. Like, it's really weird. I still have no idea why that's the case. And later on, as your progress kind of gets more and more. It's a little bit like Papers, Please. As things get as more and more hectic, the detectives start needing the SWAT team's assistance.
Right.
So if you send out the SWAT team with the detectives, you're kind of very much on the back foot with your police force. Okay, the van is empty, but the engine is still there. Wait in ambush near the van, enter the forest, turn on the flashlight. See, that seems like a dumb idea. So let's wait in ambush near the van. And that was the right call.
Huh.
Oh, but a civilian was killed. So so no one's going to get any points because they screwed that up. Let's see. Okay, well done. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll end it there. But basically, This Is the Police it's a very odd game. It is like quite sort of it's quite fun. Certainly the first 20 days I found myself having fun. I'm really not sure what the tone of the game is, and I wish that the developers had kind of fallen on the side of satire, or I wish that they'd kind of made that clearer.
Right.
Because as it stands, it's got a very murky, slightly offensive tone to it that I just don't really... Yeah, I haven't really been able to wrap my head around what they're trying to say. It's a very political game, and it's also, based in a lot of, things, really sort of current events that are happening right now, like Black Lives Matter and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's got a very odd tone to it. It's kind of, for me, this game kind of feels a little bit like a missed opportunity because it's fundamentally it's got a great idea. The concept is really strong.
Yeah.
But I will say another criticism I have of it. I played up to 80 days of this game out of 180, and on the 80th day I got a knock on my door and I was arrested and I wasn't told why, and it was game over.
That's it.
So you can be arrested at any time, and obviously I was doing dodgy dealings with the mafia, but
that could have played into
But
it.
I'm not quite sure what the what the sort of
you had been selling arms illegally.
I had been selling a lot of cocaine on the black market.
But why are you arresting me?
But aside from that, I wasn't told specifically why, so it was kind of hard to know if I was going to do another playthrough, exactly what I would do differently.
So it was just kind of arbitrary.
It
seemed
did,
like
it
when
did feel arbitrary.
Sending out cops to each crime just then, it was kind of like, oh, that was the good move. Oh no, but wait, the civilian was shot. It's kind of like, how are you supposed to know?
It's really hard to know. And part of me was thinking, well, okay, is this game just about the chaos that is being a police officer, and how you can't actually manage anything, and how everything
Life is pointless.
Everything is you're never going to be able to predict the outcome every time.
Yeah.
Which is a very fine commentary in itself. But when you're talking about a procedural sim where it's all about micromanagement, I would have preferred a little bit more control, or at least more transparency over the control that I had. So yeah, it's an interesting game. I hear that they're going to do more of a sort of like endless free play mode, which I'm quite interested in. But as it stands, interesting concept, but flawed game.
I'd like a mode where it's just, instead of 180 days, it's just your last day on the job, and you've been doing it for 50 years.
I think I would quite like that too.
And then your family gets taken hostage, and you're like, oh, I thought I was out.
It's such a fresh idea, Tristan. It's so fresh.
Hey, I'm just putting it out there. This is The Police. Thank you very much, Lucy, for taking us through that.
Thank you, Tristan.
For all things This Is The Police and indie games at large, stay right here, IGN.
Bye.
Bye.